So what do you see as some of the common and biggest challenges around data visualization? What are some of the biggest issues that analysts are faced with when it comes to visualizing data and communicating data?
Yeah, I think that's a great question. I think one of the challenges that data analysts face is maybe a lack of domain expertise, right? Not knowing exactly what looks good, what good is and what bad is for that industry. And I don't think the data analysts have to become experts in the domain, but I think it's working very closely with the business or or the finance department, whoever you're trying to visualize data for, to make sure that when you're visualizing the data, you're understanding the reasoning behind why we're doing this data visualization. How is it going to be used? I think we're very quick to pull the trigger on the data visualization software. It makes it very easy for us to just click, drag, drop, and we have our chart and dashboard ready without much thought. And I think that it's good and it's bad. It's good because it enables anybody to just visualize their data. But I think it also makes it easy for those who don't necessarily understand what the data is telling them to visualize it and potentially put dashboards out there that lead to inaccurate decision making. So the main knowledge is one. The other one I'd say is selecting the right chart. I think once you've worked in the space long enough, you know which chart to use for which data type, and you know what's going to work best. And I think that takes some practice, but there are some hard and fast rules that you can follow. Or like if you're trying to show time series data, you use a line graph. If you're trying to show proportions, you can use a tree map, or in some cases a pie chart. And I can do a whole session on pie charts and best practices on those. I know there are some very strong opinions on never use pie charts or sometimes use pie charts. But there are some best practices that you can follow, right? Like for making a decision on when to choose which chart. The other thing is, that's the last one I'll discuss in terms of challenges, is the ease of these data visualization tools is actually making us design dashboards that might end up being too cluttered or have too many colors, because that's I guess when you double click and you create a bar chart easily in Tableau, sometimes you'll have the desire to put something on color, to have like 15 colorful bars, and then you'll add a pie chart, and it's just, you end up cluttering the view because of how easy it is to keep adding charts. So I think the challenge here is to really think what you want to visualize, and maybe use a piece of paper and pencil to begin with to decide what are the questions you want to answer, which chart you're going to use, and then go to the software to actually visualize that.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. This is, for me, you made the point that there isn't really a clear course out there. Usually people have never been taught data visualization as part of any courses on statistics in the past. It was all focused on how you turn data into insights, but not how you then communicate those insights most effectively. I feel that some of this is changing now, but in the past it was almost impossible to find this data. You had to go beyond the data science field to find that. And I also feel lots of people that have become data analysts, they've been trained a while ago, and they've maybe not focused on data visualization as much as on using the tools and using the statistics to turn data into insights.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And I couldn't agree more. Asking the right questions. I think this is something I've been preaching for so many years. And one of my favorite quotes is from Mark Twain, when he said, I didn't have enough time to write a short letter, so I wrote a long one. And I sometimes feel that we do this with data a lot, that we tend to, people get overexcited about their dashboard tools and all the different formats and tools they can use, and they make it too cluttered, too busy, and it's so much easier to simply give people lots of data rather than really sitting down and thinking about what data they should be, or what information people actually need, and then how you best visualize that.
Yeah, I think there's one question or one statement that people say, just because you can visualize it doesn't mean you should visualize it. So definitely thinking through what you actually want to tell your audience, and then go to the visualization.
I couldn't agree more.